Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Sympathy Kiss, continuing Usui's route. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Listen, I'm trying to do two things at once because... Oh, Jesus fucking Christ, it's still not working. I'm trying to fucking fix my goddamn computer because the frickin', like, thing that, like, lights up my keyboard and everything, like, won't fucking install. So I'm like, let me download it from the goddamn webpage, and it's still not doing it. And it's like, Jesus fucking Christ. So, like, my brain is not working right now. But anyway, so continuing Usui's routes. And, right, we had that moment with him. Okay, let's see if... Okay. All right, I was over it. I forgot about it until now, and it's like, let's just hope he doesn't continue being that kind of douchebag, because I don't want them to ruin him for me. Like, don't do that. But anyway. Spacey, something wrong with your neck? The next day, during a break, Oe came over to my desk to chat. You've had your fingers on your neck all day. Did you notice? I gasped and flushed with embarrassment. I've been unconsciously touching the spot that Usui kissed yesterday. What is it? It's kind of red. Is it a bug bite? Actually, it looks more like a hickey. Which, okay, would not happen with just you touching fingers onto your neck. So, I'm gonna call bullshit on that. I flew out of my seat, fumbling to check with the mirror on my desk. But I couldn't even see the faintest mark anywhere. And why would I? Usui had only put his fingers there. He didn't actually kiss me. Okay, because I'm like... that there'd be no red mark. No, not, I mean, you rubbing your neck constantly or like messing with your neck. Yeah, but like from him putting his fingers there would do nothing. Okay, so Saltome's just being a douche. Gotcha. But I guess that means there's somebody you've been kissing? Okay, alright, so he is just fucking with us. And that makes more sense. I cursed myself for being stupid enough to fall for Saltome's trick. Honestly, I would have never kissed you at a boyfriend, Amasawa. What's he like? I want to know more too. I'm always going on about my boyfriend, so I want to hear about yours, Spacey. I don't really think this is an appropriate workplace conversation. I'm with Minato. This is not an appropriate workplace conversation. No, please, Ko. Don't act like you don't care. I care about Amasawa's boyfriend as much as I care about what you had for lunch. So you're fascinated? Should I file a bug report on your brain? With those two arguing, I hoped the topic of my boyfriend would be forgotten. Gingerly, I tried to sneak away, but Oe didn't let me go so easily. I'd be like, I don't have a boyfriend. It's nothing. So, what's he like? Imaginary. There would be no escape after all. I told him I didn't have a boyfriend, but someone had given me a warning about how I interacted with men. Huh? Someone told you not to open yourself up? I mean, when you phrase it like that, it sounds inappropriate, but that's not normal. Who gave you this advice, your legal guardian? Okay, all right, I like the fact that Labradoodle in problem number one, because let's be real, Minato's a little standoffish and is kind of well, he's not really problematic. He's actually a sweet guy underneath, but he's got an attitude, okay? And you'd expect him to be like, God, don't be nice to people, because he's just got an attitude. He's a salty little cracker, okay? But, like, these two were like, what kind of bullshit is that? Like, yeah, you have to be careful that men aren't going to be creepy, because men are creepy, but, like, what the fuck? You don't have to worry. You should not have to be... Listen. The reality of it is, if you blink, a man will think you want to have sex with him because men are the problem, not you blinking. Okay? So the reality is, like, yes, unfortunately, women have to be careful about being nice to men, which is stupid as fuck. But that doesn't mean it's normal. And it doesn't mean it's right to be like, oh, it's one of those, like, listen, men are douchebags in general. Okay, we're talking general, not everybody. Obviously, we know this. So, yes, you do have to be careful the signs you're giving out. So you just have to be careful. But, like, you should be able to, like, have a nice conversation and not be a bitch to every man you see just because they don't know how to take it. And they need to learn how to control their penises. Okay, it's not your responsibility to do that. Do you need to be careful until men are finally aware that you're the problem? You need to fix your shit, not us. We're not responsible for you. We're not your moms. Fix your fucking shit. Okay? Yes, we do have to be cautious. However, it's not normal to be like, oh, we'll just keep cleaning up their messes. Fuck that shit. No. Hold men accountable. So, like, you know? So, like, it's one thing to be like, hey, I'm being really nice. Oh, so you want to go out with me? I did not say that, motherfucker. Okay, you know? But, like, just having to be a bit, but Usui's warning is douchey. Because, like, oh, men are wolf. No, sir. Keep your dick in check. And also, I was flirting with you. I was hitting on you. I do want you to whip it out. So don't be a douche about it. But, like, but you know what I mean? Like, I like the fact that these two are like, you should be able to just talk to a man and not have him be a complete nutter cunt. Thank you. Thank you. And coming from the salty cracker who doesn't want anyone to talk to him or associate or try to be his friend, for him to be like, that's stupid. You should be allowed to be nice to people. Ah! All right? We're not the problem here. Anyway. Yeah, that sounds like something your dad would say. Maybe your mom? I mean... so he's old enough to be her dad. Yeah, what do you think about that person, Speezy? Think they're full of shit. He's sexy as fuck, but I want to smack the stupid right out of him. I took a moment to think about Usui and what I felt for him. Usui is far more mature than me. I doubted he'd ever consider a relationship with me. Well, I mean, I feel like his being pulling out that douche line is really more to push you away and to protect himself. Like, nope, gotta warn you away. You can't say shit like that to me because then I'm gonna realize I'm attracted to you, and he knows it's kind of inappropriate. I mean, like, listen, not to say you can't have something totally in common with someone 20 years younger than you. Sure, fine. But, like, in most cases, you probably don't. Okay? And, like, you have to, at his age, be like, I gotta think about this. This is not like, oh, hey, you're 45 and a 40-year-old, or even a 45-year-old and a 35-year-old, where you're like, oh, that's an age difference. But, like, oh, I got something. I'm like, whatever, where it's not that big of a deal. When it's a 24-year-old and a 45-year-old, it's like... All right, wait a minute. Ooh, you really, that takes a little more analysis than just, no, let me go with my romance feelings. You know what I mean? You got to think about that one a little bit more. Okay? That one takes a little bit more logic than feeling. All right? I mean, all relationships you should be using your logic skills and be like, just because I'm swept away, is this person not trash? We play a Tome game so we could be swept away by the trash and not have to worry about it. But in reality... would we really date some of these trash bandos? No, we would not. Okay? We're here playing these games so we don't have to use logic. All right? So, I can understand Usui being like, whoa, you need to be really careful about what you're saying because I might think you're interested in me and then I might consider it and then that would just be problematic. You know what I mean? And he's trying to, like, push us away and keep himself guarded. Sure, fine. Again, like I said, I'll accept that. But you get one, sir. If you keep trying to pull this shit on me, I'm going to kick you in the fucking nuts. And I don't want the game to make me hate you. That's all I'm saying. So. I didn't ask you what he thinks of you. How do you feel, Spacey? What would happen if he told you he liked you? The straightforward nature of her question stung like an arrow to the heart. Did we, though, when she said, what do you feel about this person, did we say, I don't think Usui would think about a relationship with... Did we mention his name? Or was she just like... in her head, thinking about him and then said out loud, that's the problem with her not talking, you don't know, is saying, I don't think he'd think about a relationship with me, and then always like, not what he thinks, and we never mentioned Usui. So now we don't know, now you don't know. Whoa, you look redder than a tomato. Man, Amasawa, you must really like this guy. Okay, so they definitely don't know it's Usui, alright. I didn't need Saotome to point it out to me. I knew I was blushing. I really had strong feelings for Usui. Girls in love are just the cutest. Anyway, if you need any advice, I'm always here to chat. I gave Oe a small nod. After realizing what these feelings were, I spent the remainder of my lunch flustered. For the rest of the day, every time my hands stopped moving, my thoughts started racing. I didn't take a break and kept working. I mean, you know. Stupid fucking thing won't work. But because of that, I finished all my tasks earlier than usual. I apologized to Usui for the sudden schedule change. Not at all. It's just the two of us today, so I'm glad for the help. And, Miss Amasawa, I was thinking... It's about time I taught you how to make some cocktails. You have to catch the train, so we can't do it after hours, right? At Evergreen, I'd never seen anyone but Usui make the cocktails. The fact that he's going to teach us is kind of nice. Yes, I'm the only bartender. Of course, if we had someone on staff who was interested, I'd teach them, but... Your case is slightly different. You're here to write an article about the experience. Probably best to give your readers an authentic view, right? As he spoke, Usui laid out shakers and glasses. I mean, that's valid on his side, you know. Let's start by practicing the basic shaking motion. Shaking a cocktail mixes, chills, and aerates the ingredients. Certain cocktail ingredients are difficult to mix because of density differences, so it's best to mix them by shaking. Aerating the cocktail reduces the harshness of the alcohol, making it easier to drink. At Usui's direction, I grabbed the shaker and mimicked his motions. However, my movements lacked the fluidity of his. Excuse me. Oh, CG. Oh, okay. That's it, get close. Show us how to shake that. He's like, here, let me hold you and show you. Sui was standing behind me, watching me attempt to use the shaker, but I like the way they pose this so her arm and his eye and everything's like right in her face, like to block out the fact that she has no fucking eyes. Like, because they try to hide her face as much as possible, and then Eyeless being with the bangs in her face, but like, this is a really funny, awkward, but good way of blocking her face. It's good, but it's so awkward and funny at the same time. You're like, oh my god. I stiffened as I felt his arms wrap around me to guide my movements. First, you need to get comfortable holding the shaker. Your base point should be the shoulder opposite your dominant hand. There, just like that. Remember that position. My breath quickened as Usui's calm voice whispered in my ear. I mean, I can't blame her. I felt his chest pressing against my back. If he stayed so close to me, I was sure he would feel the pounding of my heart. And now shake it diagonally up and down, and keep going like that. Touch slower. You don't want the ice to hit too hard. And then take your wrist and snap. That's it. He continued to heap praise when I did well and gently explained how to fix things when I didn't. His pointers were detailed and easy to understand. Miss Amasawa, are you alright? Let's take a break. I'm so nervous. I'm fine, let's continue. This is hard. Maybe it's nerves. I feel like I'm so nervous is probably not the best thing to say, just because, I mean, it's true. But then that'd be giving away that we're in love with him, and I'm so nervous because you're touching me, and I want to bone you so hard right now. I'm fine, let's continue. Playing it off. Okay. This is hard. Maybe true, maybe not. I don't know if she really thinks it's hard. It's just, whatever. And maybe it's nerves. I don't know. I'm fine, let's continue, I feel. That's what I would go for, but... Yeah, I'm fine, let's continue. I know how to romance this man. I'm doing okay with picking the answers. I'm usually like this one or that, and it's always the wrong one. I took a deep breath and told him I was fine. If you're writing an article about working in a cocktail bar, you've got to learn how to make cocktails eventually. Your enthusiasm is wonderful. Being unable to see his face, I felt even more embarrassed as he whispered behind me, "Now let's try again." I kept practicing the shaking motion, taking Usui's guidance into account. Yes, very good. I'd be like, I'm never going to be as good as you, but I don't want to be because I just want to watch you mix my drinks. Because that's hot. And that was excellent just now. I think you're really getting the hang of it. It's very nearly time to open up. I think that's enough for today. We'll give it another go when we have more time. At this rate, you'll be serving customers in no time. We're going to end up quitting our job and working here. Usui hummed happily as I walked toward the door to open the bar. I wondered to myself how serious he was about that. I mean, when we're married to him, it's going to make sense, right? You know, when we get married and we run the bar together as a husband and wife duo, it'll be so cute. Days later, I made the decision to visit Evergreen early again. I hurriedly finished my day job and walked over. Ah, Miss Omasawa, thank you for coming. I look forward to working with you again today. As I walked through the door, Usui was sitting on one of the chairs, deep in thought. It's warmed up a bit recently, but it's quite chilly today, isn't it? Shall I turn up the heat? I'd like you to turn up the heat, but you pushed me away last time I tried, so... Oh, you meant actually, okay. He smiled the same as always and began fiddling with the thermostat. I realized my feelings for him the night he gave me that warning, but Usui clearly didn't harbor any feelings of that kind for me. I don't think that that's necessarily true. I think he might, like, have an inkling, like, something like, you know, I'm kind of into this... Nope. Shut it down. And he's just really good at shutting it down, stuffing it away, and being like, no, way too young for me. Like, boop. And pushing you away when you were kind of flirting with him was... And doing that douche warning was like the... Not just pushing you away for your own sake. Like, wow, if you say shit like that to me, like, don't. Because I will throw you down on this table now. It was also the protecting himself type of a thing. You know what I mean? And, like, kind of, I mean, listen, it's douchey when it comes from a man, but if you took it reversed, right? If it was a younger guy flirting with an older woman or being like, you gotta be careful what you say to people because we're gonna take you seriously because we're old and we don't have fucking time to mess around. Valid. I mean, if it was coming out like that, like, you're young, you gotta be careful when you say shit like that to older people because we don't have time for games. TikTok, we're gonna die soon. Okay? We're middle-aged, shit's creeping up, we're gonna die, we're closer to death than we are to birth, like, let's be real. I mean, like, the older you get, the less of a fuck you give about what people think about you, or what you wear, or being trendy, and the less time you have to play bullshit fucking games. Like, maybe in your early 20s, you were like, oh, we flirt, and then we go, maybe it's not serious, but you get older, and you're like, no, seriously, you just blinked at me. Did you want to just get married? Because, like, I don't have time for the 5 years of dating and the 6 years of being gay and all that shit. Like, dude, we're gonna be 80. Did you just want to get married yesterday? Let's go. You know, like, you don't have time for that shit. So, like... You know, I can see it coming from that perspective, but I wish they had done it more like that. Like the, dude, I'm old and I ain't got time for playing games, so don't be messing with me like this. Than the kind of trying to pull the whole, men are wolves, you have to be careful that you talk to them and be nice to them. Like, don't give me that bullshit. You know? So I feel like it was just, they worded it in the generic men are wolves way, but it was more... I'm gonna pretend in my head it was supposed to be more like, listen, old people ain't got the time, so just don't flirt with me unless you mean it. Don't waste my time like this. Don't. You know what I mean? Especially if he's already been like, I'm kind of interested, but that would be crazy. And then she's flirting with you, you'd be like, wait a minute. You know? I could see that if the roles were reversed. You know what I mean? Like... You find, you know? So, I'm just gonna go with that instead of the douche way they wrote it. You know, so. Anyway. I didn't want to make things awkward between us, so I made up my mind not to tell him how I felt again. Yeah, I feel like that's probably a good idea. As usual, would you mind starting with the pre-opening cleanup? One of the first things Usui taught me was the importance of keeping the bar clean to create a comfortable atmosphere. I nodded back at him, picked up the cleaning supplies, and got to work. When I finished, I went to ask Usui what I should do next. He was thoughtfully scribbling notes on a piece of paper on the table in front of him. He looked so intense I was hesitant to interrupt him. Sorry, all done cleaning? Thank you. I'm just working on a new menu item. Let's think about it together. Have you decided? I would ask, let's think about it together. It just seems like it's not your place. You know what I mean? It'd be like, oh, have you decided what you're doing? Ask him about it, but not oh, let me help. It's not oh, well, did you need any help with that or whatever? You're like, let's think about it together. You ain't there yet. Back off. It's a little crazy. Yeah, have you decided? And to tell you the truth, I'm having trouble putting some of my thoughts together. I told him that I'd like to help him if I could, and that I might be able to provide a customer's perspective. See, and that's a much better way. You know what I mean? That's much better. We sat in chairs across from each other and stared down at his notes. I've already made a few test dishes. This one and this one here. Usui showed me handwritten recipes with photographs attached to them. All of them appeared to be appetizers, and most were Japanese, Usui's specialty. Each one looked incredibly delicious. Unfortunately, we can't put all of them on the menu due to the varied ingredients and the time it would take to cook them all. But I'm having trouble deciding which of them is best. Why don't you make both of them for a one-night special thing, or get enough ingredients to do it and have customers vote on it? Woo! Do a vote. You know? I asked Usui why he wanted to add new menu items in the first place, or rotating. You know what I mean? Does one have ingredients that are better suited, or seasonal type ingredients? You know what I mean? This month it's this is the special menu item, and next month it's the other one. You know what I mean? Evergreen's menu was already filled with many elaborate dishes varying in size and flavor. I told him customers always complimented the appetizers and how well they pair with the cocktails. Actually, the reason is you. You're going to introduce Evergreen as a relaxing adult hideaway on the Starsea, right? I didn't tell you this at the time, but when I first saw your proposal, I was very happy. I thought, here's somebody who understands what I'm trying to do. It occurred to me that I needed to create something worthy of your article. You're worthy of everything, sweetie. So that was why. I fidgeted with my fingers under the table and wished he would stop making me fall for him. I mean, valid. Listen, the game tried really hard in the last part at the end to make me want to kick the man, but again, I feel like that was the writers fucking up intent here and doing him dirty. Because the rest of the time, he's being perfect, so let's just keep it this way, alright? I want to create something that brings joy to our customers. In that case, I had just the idea. A tasting party. See? What did I say? The people who would know what customers like best would be the customers themselves. Since the appetizers weren't very large, customers could taste multiple dishes. Usui remained silent after my suggestion. It was a spur-of-the-moment idea, and I began to doubt that it'd go over well. Sorry. The taste test idea is a good one. It just reminds me of my parents' inn, that's all. We used to do a similar event there every time the seasons changed. We all thought very hard about what guests would like, and the whole staff participated in the taste tests. My father would walk around all the employees, asking for their opinions on each dish. I miss those days. I feel like his voice is different every single time we play this game, but I can't help it. I don't know. Usui once told me that he left his parents in because he had a falling out with them. I didn't know the details, but don't get involved! Somehow his parents are going to come back and... Okay, you can't start and say you had a falling out with your parents and then talk about your parent and keep bringing it up and then never, ever tell us what happened or have them show up or anything. We can't not... You got to have some kind of drama in his route aside from he's older than me and he pulled that men are wolves bullshit. Because I'm not standing for that. So we got to have the family drama. Right now his eyes glinted, staring off at his distant memory as he spoke. No doubt his parents' inn still held a special place in his heart. Let's do it then. The taste testing event. I don't have all the ingredients I need yet, so we can start tomorrow. Over the next week, we served 5 miniature courses to our guests. Then we asked them to vote for which ones they liked best. We put a small board near the entrance of the bar and asked people to put a pin next to their favorite. It was so well received that many customers asked us to do the event again in the future. And, you could do that, like I said, for seasonal stuff. So you could have a seasonal menu, but you could do the taste testing event and be like, all right, what's the seasonal menu item? And you never know because, okay, so right now, is it spring or is it getting to fall? Whatever. Say it's summer. No, it's not summer yet because we haven't switched over to summer clothes. Right, we have different outfits. Okay. Although, I don't really know because Higa always had the same work outfit and then he had his casual outfit. And I'm pretty sure that was it. But anyway, so let's say it's spring. Okay, we're having a taste testing event. This is our new spring menu item, okay, right? So next time it comes around, somebody could be like, oh, I love that menu item he last, but remember that one you taste tested, this other one? That one was my favorite, and it didn't win, and it didn't become the seasonal menu item. And people might ask for the other recipes that you did the year before, and you know what I mean? So, gets people talking, people might become, you know what I mean? So, yeah, no, I like doing that seasonally. Thank you for all your exemplary work today. You can go ahead and close up for the day. And thank you so much for the tasting idea. As for the results, it looks like we'll be adding buttered udon with cabbage and natto to the menu, as well as stewed beef tendons with cognac jelly. If you've got some time, do you want to try that one out? I nodded eagerly, and Usui smiled back at me. Good. I'll bring some out. Oh, Miss Amasawa, you can wait out there if you like. I followed Usui into the kitchen, and he was surprised when he turned around and saw me. I told him I had been wanting to watch him cook for some time now. You can watch, but it won't be very interesting. Everything you do is interesting. He laughed and continued cooking. He said it wouldn't be interesting, but watching Usui transform ingredients into delicious food captivated me. I mean, coming off, we had a hump in the middle after doing nori cooking, but we got another cooking daddy over here, so we ain't complaining. And this one serves us liquor, too. My secret? Well, it takes some extra effort, but I like to make small cuts on the surface of the ingredients. It helps them cook faster and soak up more of the flavor from the broth. Usui answered my question without stopping his work. I was exhausted from the day, but the time I spent with Usui was peaceful and precious. Deep down, I wished it could go on forever. He's gonna miss you when you go back to normal job. The next day, I contacted Usui and told him I'd be visiting the bar earlier than usual. So you've got the first draft of the Evergreen Special completed. I nodded and showed him a printed copy of the manuscript as well as a mock-up of the app page on my smartphone. I'll take a look right away. Usui took his time reading over everything I had written. When he finished, he looked up with a broad smile. I never doubted your abilities, but I never expected you to write such a wonderful piece. You've given me so many compliments. I feel a tad embarrassed. Look, he's blushing! How adorable! It's about time we made you blush, sir. But to think this is how you see Evergreen, from the perspective of someone who works here, I'm just so pleased. With an attentive manager, delicious meals, and relaxing atmosphere, adults looking to unwind couldn't ask for more. I'll have to do my best to live up to such praise. Usui's happiness was radiant and infectious. Hi, what you doing? You okay? It had been difficult to juggle my responsibilities at work and at Evergreen, but seeing his reaction now made it all worth it. You truly are something special. I wish I could be your something special. Don't worry, we'll get there. Working at Evergreen is no easy task, But you managed it along with your day job, too. Ah, well, I just didn't do anything at my day job, so it's fine. You never let it show, but I know that must have been difficult. When you offered to help me with the bar, I worried you wouldn't be able to handle it. I was going to encourage you to stop if you showed even the slightest sign of exhaustion. I sleep at my desk at work, it's fine. But you've done both jobs flawlessly. I'm sorry, my hand's sitting here, my bird's just like made a nest out of my hand. Like, I have my elbow bent on my pillow and my hand is sitting on my chest, and like, so he is like wedged sitting on my, not quite shoulder, but like, it's just the way, it's just, he's like snugged in my hand and it's just so cute. It's funny because his feathers tickle a little. You're so cute. He's like, I snug in this tiny gap. You're so silly. Are you going to snug or not? Come here. I put my hand like this. It's an awkward position for my hand, but I'll do it for you. Are you going to snug or not? No? No? All right. I'm truly in awe of you. I wish that were true. I mean, I'm sure it's true, but like, be more in awe of me. Like, kiss me, goddammit. Lasui's words warmed my heart, and I could tell by his voice that he wasn't just saying it. He really meant it. Are you okay? Okay, you know what? Do you need a break? Good God, Bird. Like, I have my hand and he goes down to snug and he like, okay, I'm gonna get comfy. And then he runs away. And then he comes back. And then he runs away. It's like he can't fucking, he's fidgety. Do you need to go potties again? We went before we started, but you know what? It's been 30 minutes, and I understand. Sometimes you're good at sitting still. No, that's a good boy, thank you. Sometimes you're good at sitting still, and you snug for like an hour, and you have no fucking clue, and you're like, whatever. And other times, you're like, it's fidgety. I need to go to the potties. And you won't just fly over there by yourself because you're a spoiled little brat, and I have to bring you over there. I am apparently your poop servant. I don't want to be the poop servant. I don't want to be a poop servant. I have to clean it up anyway. I don't want to have to, like... Well, that's why we bring you over there, so that you poopy on the puppy pads, and then that's better. I don't have to worry about it all over my couch or pillows, but still, I still have to clean up after you. I don't want to have to cart you to your poop spot. You're capable of flying. You are a bird. You do have wings. You know that, right? He's like, bullshit. He's like, I only have wings when I'm flying after you because you leave me behind when you're trying to go away. I know. It's very difficult. Anyway. Asui's words warmed my heart, and I could tell by his voice that he wasn't just saying it. He really meant it. I don't know if I read that or not, but I told him it was all thanks to him that I could work so hard. Me. Whenever I was tired from my job, Evergreen was always there to make me feel better. And it was Usui's compassion that inspired me to keep going. Undoubtedly, he was the reason I could do it. Your trouble. You know just the right things to say to dig deep into my heart. Good. Are you gonna kiss me now? His hand reached out to me, hesitated, then gently patted me on the shoulder. Oh! It's like his hand reaches out to you and you're like, and then he's like, pat on shoulder, and you're like, damn! I'm glad that I was able to help you. I think you've done a remarkable job. Congratulations, Miss Amasawa. He continued to pat my shoulder as though praising a young child. He's trying to distance himself. As delighted as I was to hear his words, I grew frustrated. I felt so deeply for him. How could he not see that? He's trying very hard not to have feelings for you. 'Cause the age difference, so... Again, valiant effort, and I like the frustration we're building. I wondered, if I had been older and more mature, would he have seen me as I saw him? Sadness washed over me. To be fair, yes. I feel like if the age difference wasn't here, then, like, yeah, he'd be a little more receptive and open. Right? But that's the whole point of some of the drama and the angst in his route is... he's keeping you at a distance because of the age difference, and I like that better than him being like, yeah, I just like fucking young girls. Like, don't be creepy like that. I like that if they're gonna do an age difference thing and they're going to make it a huge part of the route, right? As opposed to, here it is, it's there, and we're not even gonna think about it, okay? If they're going to think about it or focus on it, or it's going to be a plot point, aside from just existing, This is a good way to do it because it's like he's like trying to keep my distance because she's too young for me, and you're like, damn it, am I too immature or something? And there's a little angst here, and it's not making me weird. Like, as someone who is like, I don't like it when they do age gap things. I mean, the 45 and 24, it's not as bad as when we had freaking Cafe Enchanté when you're like, you're in your 40s and she's like fucking 18 or 19. Like, bitch just turned legal yesterday. What the fuck, dude? No, creepy. Like, this is only she's a few years older, but at least she has a real job now. I just rolled out of high school. I graduated yesterday. Back the fuck off, creepy old man. You know what I mean? Like, no, 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 no. That's weird. And then they harp on it, and you're like, stop making it gross. This, they haven't really done that. I've talked about it more than they have. She's been like, oh, he's older. Am I not mature enough? Like, whatever. And it hasn't made it creepy or gross. So, you know what I mean? It's there, and it's handled in a very realistic kind of way. Like, oh, he's older, and he's like, too young for me. Even though he probably does have feelings for us, he's thinking about it logically and trying to keep us away, like push us away. Like, okay, let's just friendly distance. And she's over here like, oh my God, but am I not mature enough for him? And maybe and it's like real. Okay, cool. And then shit's gonna happen and whatever. And like, as long as we keep it not being like, they've done it well so far, is all I'm saying, for a big age gap, which that I do not like. Again, because they always make it creepy and gross. Like, they always have to, like, harp on it and talk about it. And this, they're doing it in a very realistic, well-handled way where it's like, okay, yeah, I don't know. And I think the difference, too, for me is the fact that she is established at her job. It's not like she just rolled out of high school yesterday where you're like, she's dealt with the real world. And they also, the way she's been written in all the other routes, oh my God, he's looking at, like, yeah, she's gotten blushy and goofy. So don't we all when they look at us a certain way. Like, okay, he's making me feel stupid too. I get it. But they haven't made her like the little virginal wallflower. We're like, oh my God. Oh my God, he looked at me and now I'm going to die. No, like, she's like, oh my God, I'm embarrassed because he was saying nice things. But like, okay, like, whatever. And she handles it like a normal person. You know what I mean? I feel like the, like, way she gets embarrassed is very normal and not like she's a fucking shut-in that's never talked to a human being before where you're like, not, like, stop being so innocent, virginal, and like literally has never spoken to another human being before. Naive and completely freaking like clueless. That's usually how they make main characters. You know? She seems like very normal. Yeah, a hot man looking at you with sexy eyes is going to make you a little giggly. Cool, I'm fine with that. And like when they've had sexy times, it's like, oh, okay, maybe a little like, ooh, it's a little nervous because it's a new. But she hasn't been like they have never given me any reason to think that she has never gone to Pound Town before any of these guys. Like, it's like she had a boyfriend at some point and she's had sex before because she's not acting like, oh my God, I saw his ankle. She ain't acting like a Victorian man with ankles, okay? She's like, okay, this is awkward. It's a new guy. All right, we can do it. And like, totally normal. So, this is also probably why the age difference doesn't bother me as much the way they've done it so far in this one. Because she's a normal human being and not like, oh my God, like a 13-year-old girl with a crush while pretending she's supposed to be 18. And you're like, are you sure? Because, like, I don't think she's quite surpassed middle school, like, mentally, you know? Like, let's be real. I mean, we've had a lot of good main characters, but they tend to like to make them, like, innocent and virginal and very naive and very, like, I just rolled out of the womb yesterday. And when you take that, and I'm 18 though, and then there's a 40-year-old man, it gets creepy and fucked up, and I don't like it. She has her own agency and is like, you know, and she's only doubting her maturity because she thinks he is. You know? Like, she's never given us reason to think she's immature ever, so, like, and it's okay to be a little immature every once in a while. Like, we all have that in us. But, like, she's not immature in the, oh, yeah, no, everything about you is immature, and yeah, no, this is creepy. No, so I much prefer the way they're handling it here. So far, minus the whole him doing the whole men are wolves thing. Again, I think that was just, I'm going to choose to think it was just a poorly worded choice from him. And it was more like, I'm trying to keep you away because, girl, I will throw you down and I don't think you know what's going to, like, he's trying to protect himself by kind of putting it off like she doesn't know what she's saying. But, you know. So poor writer's writing choice. We'll blame Tim and Ronald for that one. But I ain't mad at Asui necessarily for it. Unless he starts acting like this shit again. But we'll see. We'll see. So far, so good. So. Is something wrong? When he saw the change in my expression, Usui took his hand back and tilted his head slightly, confused. I told you not to open yourself up, didn't I? Not exactly right of me to touch you like this. Sorry. Men have a tendency to take any kindness from a beautiful woman as a sign of affection. He's not wrong, but also, if you know that, if you logically know that, maybe check yourself. You know what I mean? It's one thing if he sees us talking to say Saltame like this and to be like, you do, just so you know, because you don't know him. But you're talking about yourself. You're being nice and I'm going to think you have a thing for me. Maybe reflect on that and fix your shit. Don't tell her to fix your shit. That's all I'm saying. Warning us about other men is one thing. Warning us about yourself, well, that's just fucking stupid. Check yourself before you wreck yourself, sir. You shouldn't open yourself up like that to a man you feel no affection for. Again, I do feel it's like, don't flirt with me because I'm going to think you're serious and I can't handle that. You know? True as it may have been, it wasn't the case here. I cared about him so much, but I had no idea how to let him know. And again, it's like but I do have affection for you, so... So I really just feel like it was a weird choice but I guess I get it. It's don't flirt with me because I'm going to think you're serious. And she's like, but I am serious. And he's like, there's no way she is, you know? Okay, fair enough. What did I have to do to get Usui to notice me? My heart went out and I asked directly. Oh, see, and she's also very direct with shit like this. She's like, what do I have to do to get you to realize I want to fuck you? And you're like, girl, the fuck? Damn! I mean, she didn't say that exactly, but... Notice you... Is that... What are you asking? It was rare to see him flustered. Apparently my words were a complete surprise to him. Yeah, because I think he's thinking there's no way a 24-year-old girl's interested in him. Sweetie. Like, there is a huge populace of women who are totally into older men. So I'm just saying. This ain't odd. Why are you asking me that? I'm afraid I don't understand. But whatever the reason, you don't need to do anything. You're wonderful the way you are. He rattled off a bunch of non-answers. It made me feel like a kindergartner confessing their crush to their teacher. I mean, to be fair, it's almost... almost. Not quite that much of an age gap, but... Was there nothing I could do to get him to understand what I wanted to say? I mean, if he was like a student teacher or someone just fresh out of school and was like starting his first job as a teacher, yeah, no, the age gap right there. There you go. You're still young, and there's still so much of life you've yet to experience, but I know you'll continue to age beautifully. Do I have to come back here in 10 years, sir? 30 and 50? I'm cool with that. So... And there's no need to rush. You should enjoy this time. His avoidant flattery acted like smoke, obscuring the truth. I definitely think he is thinking that, like, he's trying to push us away Like, no, because I don't think it's in reality. Would it be like if someone said this stuff to you, you'd be like, they are trying to let you down easy because they have no interest in you, but they're trying to be like, yeah, this ain't ever going to happen. Right. But in an Otome game, obviously we're going to bone this man. So, like, this would be him being like trying to push you away gently because he probably doesn't think that you are as sure of your feelings as you are. You know what I mean? He's like, oh no, you're young. You're going to realize that this is just a silly crush. And to be fair, you could have silly crushes no matter how old you are. You know what I mean? You could be like, oh my God, I'm totally in love with this person. And then 5 minutes later, you're like, yeah, no, it was just Tuesday. So, you know what I mean? Like, that's why we play a Tome game, so we can have silly little crushes on 2D men. Hi, hello. Like, let's be real. But, so I could see him thinking like, nah, you just... And again, it is a habit of all of us older people because we've been younger people before. I know, it's strange. We were young once. I was young. Grandma was young once. And like, we've done shit like this. Where like, you're like, oh my God, I'm totally in love with this person. And then you're like, no, that was actually stupid. No, I wasn't. But again, that happens all the time. And like, you know what I mean? You tend to think younger people aren't as in tune with their actual emotions, feelings, thoughts, and experiences as you are because you've got 20 years on her. You know what I mean? Like, think about anyone you've got 20 years on. You're going to be like, they do not have half the experience that you have. They have so many experiences that they're missing. And that's valid because it's true. But doesn't mean that there aren't people that are more mentally, emotionally mature in their 20s than people like me. I definitely am not mentally or emotionally mature at my old age. Like, I'm not. I know that. You know what I mean? Yes, I do think that there are things that I'm like, no, kids in their 20s, you don't get it. But you might have more emotional maturity than I do. Let's be real. You know what I mean? Because I'm mentally also not my age. At fucking all. I have nothing in common with people my age at work that talking about things that I'm like, you're talking about like kids and soccer practice and like shit. And I'm like, I'm not this old, right? No? I don't look this old, but I also don't act this old. I mean, that's a very normal thing. There are people younger than me that talk about these things, and I'm like, no, I don't understand. I don't get that. I'm not mature enough for kids yet. And I will never be, because I don't want kids, but you know what I mean? Like, so, fair. But, yeah, I mean, I think he's also thinking, like, it's also, too, when you get to a certain age, and maybe that's what he's thinking, too, is like, yeah, there's no way, like, right now, yeah, cool, we're having a good time, you're fascinated with me, but, like, you're gonna realize you're not really into me, and as an old person, you're gonna be like, ouch. You know what I mean? You're thinking that a young person doesn't have the staying power of being in love, but how many people have you seen in reality that have dated someone in high school, get married to that person, and stay together forever because that's just their soulmate? Like, some people just know this shit. And some people never find their soulmate, and some people never figure that shit out. And are 60 years old, bouncing around having a new boyfriend every other week because, like, that's just the way they are. Like, every human being is different, Usui. Have faith in her and her feelings. But I get it. I'd probably feel the same way if somebody was, like, that much younger than me interested. I'd be like, yeah, you're going to grow out of it, kid. Don't worry. But that's also a self-confidence thing. You're not like, yeah, I'm so awesome. I got a 24-year-old to fall in love with me. I'd be like, you'll figure out that was stupid in 5 minutes. Don't worry about it. Like, so fair enough to him. So, you know. My mind racing, I slowly took a step forward, kiss him, and embraced him, my head to his chest. Could we get a CG of this? Could we? Usui gasped, but didn't push me away. I hugged him closer and felt his warmth through my clothes. I like the fact that that she's ballsy, though. I'll give her that. Now he looks sad. Because he's like, God, I want to hold you, but it'd be stupid if I did. I looked up and met his eyes. They were filled with a range of conflicting emotions. I think you're a wonderful woman, but this... I didn't want to hear the rest. Better that he reject me harshly and all that once... Oh, better that he reject me harshly and all at once than with flowery words and roundabout explanations. If he was curt, I could walk away easily. His kindness only felt cruel. I think you should say that out loud. So I put my hands around his neck and pulled him close, trying to bring his lips to mine. Girl! I like that she's being really, really ballsy here. Masui stared at me, his eyes filled with anguish. Because she's like, it's kind of weird her being like, I know he's going to reject me, but let me try to force a kiss on him. But I get it. You know what I mean? She's like, all right, I'm going to try. Now that I've hugged him, he's trying to be nice. I'm going to go in for a kiss, and then he'll just reject me harshly, and that's what she wants. So I get what she's doing. But he didn't push back. He didn't stop me. And I slowly pulled him closer to me. Are we going to get a kiss, CG? Our lips nearly touched, and then... The door to Evergreen swung open, and someone entered. Masui and I jumped back from each other and turned to face the guest who walked in. Damn, kiss blocked! Holy shit! Hey, Speezy! Damn it, Oe! What the fuck? I honestly expected it to be Saltame or something. I expected it to be someone we knew, but Oe! Damn, girl! I'm here to take pictures for the feature. Right. I suddenly remembered that today was the day we decided to do the photo shoot. I love the fact that we were pulling him closer to kiss him and he wasn't pulling back and he was probably thinking in his head, I should not, but I want to, but I don't. And then Usui busted it. Damn it! Damn, that was good though! But there was quite a crowd. Listen, Spacey Yamasawa, you gotta look like you're working, otherwise the pictures will look weird. Like, they jump back and like, oh. But the thing is as you are walking up through the glass, were you not paying attention? Because the front of the store is all glass. You didn't see this? Saltame complained, though Minato was the one holding the camera. As far as I knew, we were only taking pictures of the bar. There was no way we needed this many people. I love the fact that they're all here. How embarrassing, but amazing. Oh wait, absolutely could have done this alone. I quickly realized they were here to skip work. I let out a long sigh. You look so red. Do you have a fever or something? Saltame crossed his arms, and Minato messed with the camera's settings. I brought my hands to my cheeks. My face felt warm. I was still flushed from being so close to Usui. The fact that I was blushing and that someone else had noticed caused me to go even more red. We're not interrupting, are we? Whoa! Shut up! They're making it so much more awkward. Oh, is that it? Then that means the guy Yamasawa was talking about the other day was... Oh my god! Oh my god! What the fuck? Oh, this just gets better and better. Now that you mention it, it is a little warm in here. I'll adjust the thermostat. I knew that Usui heard what Saltame had said, but he brushed it off. Right, because the man is probably all the gears are spinning. All the hamsters are in all the wheels. And he is like, what the fuck is going on? He's like, I almost kissed her. She was going to kiss me, and I was going to let it happen. All these people walked in. I'm just going to walk away now. At that, Saltame shrugged, perhaps realizing there was no point in pursuing it further. Also, he probably feels a little awkward, but not nearly as bad as we do. He is like, oh, huh. That almost happened, sure. I allowed myself one more frustrated, impatient huff before walking away from Usui and getting ready to take pictures. That is the greatest fucking thing ever! Miss Amasawa, Minato, and Oe strolled around the bar, snapping pictures. I began drawing some glasses, watching them from a distance. Miss Amasawa nearly tripped, maybe from nerves. Minato, standing beside her, caught her and supported her until she regained balance. And he's like, touching her. Are you going to get jealous? Because I feel like they threw that in there just to see if Usui would get jealous. I wondered if he was getting closer than he needed to be, and I watched them, cautious. See, now, if he had seen stuff like this happening and then was like, you need to be careful around guys like Minato, whatever, right? Because he was jealous and that's why he said the whole stupid bullshit stuff. I mean, again, I know why he said it, but like the way they worded it was poor choice. But if he had said that, then you'd be like, okay, but now it's like, he's like, is he getting too close to her? Now you're getting a little jealous. So, okay, all right. I mean, we always knew. You had to know that he had feelings and that's why he said those things, but I like seeing it come out, though. And the moment I realized my foolish behavior, I shook my head and returned to work. And yet all I could think about was Miss Amasawa. That was a close call earlier. I tried to rebuff her, but she embraced me and even tried to kiss me. Had the others not arrived when they did, I would have let her. Damn it. We knew, but she's still young. Surely she'll find someone out there better than me. I mean, we found a lot of men out there, but that doesn't mean you're not, like, still coming to the man harem, sexy motherfucker. At first, I thought she reminded me of my sister. I was concerned about how intensely she was working. But the more I got to know her, the more I saw of her hardworking nature. The more I found myself attracted to her. She asked me what it would take for me to notice her. Little did she know I'd already fallen for her some time ago. Oh, I love it. Still, I knew it'd be wrong for someone my age to take advantage of her like that. And see, it's that too, because then you're like, oh, she's so young and naive, whatever. And it's like, maybe, yes. And it's valid to think that. And I appreciate him being like, I should not. Let her figure out her real feeling. But at some point, you got to trust that even someone that you think is too young for you has their own agency and whatever. But I get his caution. You know what I mean? I get the like, you've had experience with your emotions and feelings and whatever for longer, and you're thinking back to when I was that age, damn, I was stupid. Doesn't mean that somebody who is 24 is stupid. It just means you're thinking, when I was that age, I was no, this would have been a bad thing. And especially as a woman. Okay. Now, I don't think Usui is the right person to be making that judgment call, but, those of us that are women can. When you were 24, if there was some guy in his 40s hitting on you, everyone in their right mind would be like, girl, that's some grooming. Back the fuck up. What the fuck is he interested in you? Nuh-uh. You know what I mean? Because it comes across a little weird. Now, not to say that there aren't relationships that work out that are perfectly fine like that, but there is always a majority of them are creepy and weird. More often than not. So the ones that are fine, they're still always going to have that shadow of, yeah, but you know what? 8 or 9 out of 10 are a little creepy and weird. Like, you don't look at Leonardo DiCaprio and go like, oh, good, no, 24-year-olds, that's right. You're like, no, he's creepy and weird. And 9 out of the 10 relationships of a man who's, how the fuck old is he now? Isn't he like 50 or some shit? Anyway, way older, dating a 24-year-old is him, to be fair. And then there's one other person who's like 40 dating a 25-year-old, and they have a normal relationship and everything's fine over there, but all we got to go on is Leonardo DiCaprio being the other 9 and being like, that's gross and creepy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so, and Usui's not the person to be judging that. It's other women that should be like, girl, be careful. Because men are a little fucking, and like, so yeah, at 24, it probably, you'd have to think in a majority of cases it'd be inappropriate. We know he's not like that. We know he's perfect. We know he's wonderful because we're playing this game and it's an Otome game. And even if he was trash, we'd be here for it. But the reality is still there. So, like, I understand. And they're doing it well, though. He's like, I don't know. She's gonna real, whatever. And like, fine, valid, true. But as playing the main character, we're going to trust our feelings and know that, like, no, we pegged you right. You're sexy and fun, and we're going to love you forever, goddammit. So good enough. So there you go. But I like that he's like, I'm taking advantage of her. No, you're not. But valid of you to think that, and good of you to, like, be wary of it, you know? I tried to suppress these feelings by treating her like a child, and we hate that, though. I can watch Amasawa all day. Is Saotome trying to wingman me right now? Because I love it. I quickly turned around to see Saotome standing close by. How's the photography coming along? I'm just here for the ride. Just an excuse for a break from the office. I see. So I gotta know. Saotome leaned forward, resting both his elbows on the counter. What's the deal with you guys? You and Amasawa, I mean. What do you mean, deal? Like, are you guys, a thing? Saotome's little angry face. He's like, I'll bite your fucking ankles if you hurt her, man. I love our Labradoodle. I really fucking do. Like, listen. We know Boss Babe's my favorite. Because just sexy, salty, bitchy man with glasses. Perfect. Cold and aloof. Glasses. Perfect. But, like, I gotta be honest. I feel like Saotome might be the best character in the entire game from start to finish. Because he is always coming out swinging for us. He was, like, telling Bitch-chan to fuck off. And it's like, damn, son. And he's over here like, what's the deal? Huh? He is wingmanning us hard? Like, Labradoodle always has our back. And I mean, like, you can't hate this character. You cannot hate this man. You can't. Even if he's not your favorite, you're like, he's a bro. You don't have to be in love with him as a love interest, but you have to be in love with him as a character. There is no way. Like, if you were a side character, you'd be the best side character in the whole game. And the fact that we could date you too is like, makes him I can't help it, man. Labradoodle, you just keep earning your keep, and that's all I'm saying. Gold star. Her coworker was pretty blunt. Are you interested in her? Not really. I mean, she's a colleague and all. Just curious. In that case, I'm afraid there's nothing much to tell. I was curious about that too. I mean, Minato being a second wingman. Listen, Minato, you're not too bad either, but Saotome gets all the gold stars. But I appreciate you also having my back a little. That's kind of nice. He gets a silver star. Yoko, you guys done with the pictures? Almost. Oh, and Amasawa are talking about the design right now. And what are you curious about? Usui and Amasawa's relationship. I mean, it's kind of funny because he has never been a wingman for us, and him doing it now is kind of funny. I would have thought you were the type to stay out of conversations like that, Minato. Amasawa wears her heart on her sleeve. If you broke her heart, it'd be a real pain. Aw, he acts like it's a pain, but he cares. It's sweet. It wasn't the nicest way of putting it, but it was clear that Minato was just as worried about her as Saotome was. Once I finished drying the glass and set it down, I replied with a falsely cheerful tone. Please, I'm old enough to be your father, true. It's not a very good reason, is it? You think about how old the Earth is. 20 years is basically a rounding error. Saotome bitch slapping me in the face with my own shit. Like, me being like, I don't know, 20 years, he's like, that's like a rounding error, get the fuck over it. Damn! Oh! That was directed at me! Shit, son. Okay, alright, I see you. That might be too big of a scale. I think she'd be far better off going around with someone her own age. Like you, Saotome. So you don't mind if I date her? Well, that's really up to Miss Amasawa, isn't it? As I listened to my voice, it sounded harsh. Saotome seemed to have noticed it too. Yeah, Labradoodle ain't stupid. He acts a little dumb, but he is not fucking stupid. Even you can make that face, huh, Usui? And what kind of face is that? The face of a jealous man. I love Labradoodle so much. It's not even your route. Fuck, man. Well, either way, she's an important colleague and a friend, so you better take good care of her. By take care of her, I assume you mean while she's working at Evergreen, right? Take it however you want. Come on, let's go, Ko. With that, the two men left their seats. It seemed that both Saotome and Minato were genuinely concerned about their friend and colleague. I couldn't help but be both amused and envious of those two, so unafraid to put their thoughts out there. Perhaps if I were younger or courageous like them, I could have answered her honestly. The thought made me scoff at myself. No, you're old, and so you should give no fucks. But I get it. You're also thinking that, like, what? There's no way a 20-year-old would be interested in me. You know? And, like, here we are. Oh my god. That was the best fucking side scene. This is now the spin-off, but we're going to do that next time. I know we rambled a lot in this one, but there's a lot to unpack in this, okay? There really is. But again, I love how they are handling. I got to give the bird another break, but I will finish our rambling as I'm doing that. I love how they are handling the age gap thing in this one. I think it's done well, so it doesn't bother me. And even though they're talking about it because it's a thing that exists, they're not making it creepy or weird or disturbing. The Sui's taking it like a normal person, like, I don't know, this doesn't feel right. And like, I'm too old here. And like, instead of being creepy about it or weird, and they've, again, made the main character very, like, I don't want to say super mature, because, like, I mean, but but I guess she is. You know what I mean? They haven't made her as, like, innocent and naive as most of our main characters usually are. So I think that helps. So, like, you don't look at her age and, like, oh, God. I mean, the age gap thing, you're like, okay, this is going to be a problem. But she's not like, I don't know. Mentally, she's a child. Like, sometimes we have main characters that you're like, no, they're too naive to everything, so this is weird. She's not like that. She seems very, like, on the ball, responsible, and ballsy, for God's sake. So, like, a decent character to have an age gap with, because she seems pretty much in charge of her own life. Like, yes, not everything is perfect, but nobody's in charge of your own life. No matter how old you fucking get, shit's gonna go wild, and you're like, I don't know. Nobody knows what they're fucking doing, no matter how old you get, okay? Nobody does. So, like, she's pretty much where she should be. You know, and she seems pretty fucking, like, on the ball. So this age gap doesn't bother me as much as other ones where it just seems creepy and weird, and they make it creepy and weird. They're handling this very well. So, like, I don't know. I'm more receptive to it. Plus, Liquor Daddy's hot as fuck. So, like, it's not hurting me there either, you know? But, yeah. Anyway, so far, but that scene was fucking great, and I just really love Saotome being like, 20 years is a rounding error. Son of a bitch. Calling my ass out. He's like, don't bitch about it anymore, girl. Oh my god. Anyway, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.